Hey Dad, welcome back to the channel. I'm going for a drive in the Volt today with Carrera. Hey Carrera. So, it's been a while. And that's it. It's on. Let's go for a drive. Ready, Carrera? Here, the rust on the brakes because this car hasn't been driven in a long time. And I definitely need sunglasses. Oh yeah. Okay, September 2016, I bought this car. It's a 2017 Chevy Volt. I picked it up September 1st. I bought it for my wife. She had a Cadillac DeVille, and I just felt like it used a lot of fuel for someone who wasn't working. So I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to get a car loan to remedy that problem, but that car was starting to need a bit of work. I never kept up on the maintenance on that car because I assumed that the head gaskets were going to fail, which of course they didn't. That car was pretty flawless for 3 years until the power steering started to go. I did have to change an intake manifold, throttle body gasket, which was cheap and it was easy to change. Also, as much as people complain about changing the starters on those cars, when I changed the throttle body gasket, I also changed the intake manifold gasket. And the starters underneath the intake manifold, super easy to get at. You don't have to jack the car up. So really easy. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. She's over it now. So, between the power steering, which it leaked pretty bad from the pump itself, so the pump would have had to been replaced. It needed new tires, and it needed something else. Someone was cutting donuts here the other day. Must have been yesterday, and it wasn't me. Cool. So I was trying to find a Buick Roadmaster wagon to replace it, and ultimately they were too much money. I mean, more money than I paid for my Impala SS. So I decided that I would go the not use any fuel route and buy this, which shocked people to their core. A lot of people asked me whose car this was when I first got it. When I said it was mine, they definitely did not believe me. But it is mine. I think it's super good. It doesn't use any gas. It's nice and quiet inside. I remember this car having a bad rattle in the driver's side door, which I haven't heard today. Maybe it went away, which seems weird because it was there for a year. More than a year. Since it was a year old, it was there. I had to have the screen replaced. It was done under warranty. The other issue that I had, which isn't the car's fault, is my wife backed it into a light post in our driveway. So I had to have a new rear bumper painted and put on. But it's been a good car. It doesn't use a whole lot of fuel, which is great. I drove it to school for, I think, 2 years. 2 terms of school, which is 20 weeks. And it was certainly much more affordable than driving any of my other cars. I think it cost me $50 a week to drive this car. And I drove my Impala 1 week, and it cost me almost $180. So it is averaging, through its lifetime, 2.2 liters per 100 kilometers of fuel, which obviously is good. I've done the math and compared it to the Cadillac that we owned before. I understand if you own a Camry or a Civic, you're not going to save as much fuel buying one of these as I did. But this car has cost me about $9,000 to own in 3 years, taking away the price of fuel, which of course I did at $1 a liter, even though fuel, I think on average, would have been probably closer to $1.10 a liter. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to be conservative with these numbers. So a car that costs $9,000 to own, a brand new car, over 3 years, I think is pretty reasonable. So by the time it's paid off, this car will have cost me, I don't know, I guess we'll see by then, maybe 16 grand. and then the longer I drive it after that, the less overall it will cost, essentially, in comparison when I add in gas savings. Which will make this car about as free as you can get for a brand new vehicle. You know, unless you bought a Leaf or something like that, it's a good, affordable electric car, but you can't take it anywhere, in my opinion. I think that the charging network is still too inconsistent, and not to mention inconvenient. I mean, I go to Huntsville a lot, which is a little over 500 kilometers. I would hate to have to stop on my way there to charge for 40 minutes. Like, I stop now, we don't stop for bathroom breaks. My kids make it all the way, my wife makes it all the way. We just leave the house and we drive straight there in this car. I don't have to stop for gas, anything, because I use the electric to get me to the highway, basically. Then I switch it over to gas, use the gas on the highway. I can make it from here to there on gas, and then when I get back into town, I go back to electric again, because that's what seems to make the most sense for me. And then I charge it while I'm there, and, you know, drive around the city or the town or village, whatever you want to call it, on electric power. And I think that this car is a really good compromise of internal combustion and electric, because it won't strand you on the highway. You can drive this thing, you know, wherever you want without limitations. It's super fun to drive in the city. Of course, there's no traffic today, but it is super fun. It's not overly fast, but it is fun. I actually autocrossed this car not long after I bought it, and I'll post a video of that up, because it was really fun. I actually think this is a really good car for autocross. If you're going to have a family car and you want to have some fun with it, and you can't afford an S4 or, I don't know, Focus RS. So I guess those two cars were both at autocross, that's why I'm naming those two. Miata is not a very good family car, but if you really want to kill at autocross, the Miata is what you buy, obviously. Everybody knows that. Do you think this car's fun, Carrera? You like cars? She's fairly tired still. So if anybody has any questions, if anyone's considering buying a car like this, I mean, I recommend it. It doesn't work for every lifestyle. I know a lot of people would rather have a pickup, and the sticker price really scares people. It doesn't matter anymore because they don't make this car. They don't make the Volt anymore. The sticker on this car, I think, was $47,000. $46,000. Pretty sure I have the sticker. Oh, it's in a folder in the house. I got $13,000 off of that for a tax credit. If you can call it a tax credit, they took it off the price of the car, right off the top. So it saves you a lot of money right there. Then I saved an additional $5,000 on top of that off the sticker price. And yeah, I mean, as far as sticker price goes, you can buy a pickup truck for that kind of money and you can do everything with it. But if you're not using your truck to do truck things, you're just throwing money away. You're spending a lot of money on fuel, you're spending extra money on payments, because trucks aren't cheap. If you want a nice truck, you're spending $50,000. Alright, let's do a stop sign start. Ready, Carrera? It's supposed to be up there. Armpit level, dude. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I had 95k there. Now I'm braking using the paddle on the back of the steering wheel, the regen paddle, to recharge, and I will hit the brake pedal now. Otherwise, I use the regen paddle almost always, unless I've been driving other cars for a long time and I forget that it's there. But it does 90% of the braking. I also drive in L. It's PRNDL, so park, reverse, neutral, drive, low in most cars. In the Volt, if you have it in L, it regens as soon as you let off the throttle, accelerator, the go faster pedal. I don't know what you call it in an electric car. The on-off switch. So you let go, and it's automatically decelling. You want to decel faster, pull the lever on the steering wheel, and now I'll hit the brake. And that's it. So I don't change the oil very often. I'm going to do my 5th oil change pretty soon. I change it at 50%-ish. I don't know what it's at now. I don't drive it. It is at... It's at 60%. So when it gets to 50, I'll change the oil. And that will be my 5th oil change. The car has 94,150 kilometers on it. So I think that is savings right there on how much an oil change is going to cost and how frequently you have to do one if you buy a car that's mainly electric. Brakes. I haven't done brakes. It's only 94,000 kilometers, but I expect to get 200,000 kilometers out of these brakes. Oh, that's crazy. Well, yeah, but it's gonna happen. They don't get used, so I don't see what the issue is. Ooh, it's getting toasty. A little inside tire spin there. Also, when you get on it, sometimes it makes little Iron Man noises, and I think that's pretty neat. See if we can do it. I don't know if the microphone picked that up. Probably not, because it can barely pick up my voice. But I have a feeling it comes out of that speaker in the center, which is right behind the camera, so it's possible. Also, the defrost has been on this whole time, so it's probably been getting in the way of my voice. I need to buy a camera that I can hook an external microphone up to. I know that all these videos kind of suck, but I'm not gonna crash, I promise. That's the forward collision alert. It will turn off the cruise control and it will beep and say, "Hey guy, you're gonna crash into somebody." There was a guy, he pulled over to the side of the road so we could get by, but he was oncoming. The car gets a little bit overexcited about those things at times, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry, because someone would probably sue General Motors if they were in an accident and they'd say, well, my car didn't tell me I was about to crash into something, so it's the car's fault, because people are idiots. So the last 200 kilometers, we've averaged 1.5 liters per 100K. That's not very many liters. Other thing is, here, I'll put it in gas mode. There's a mode button down here, so I can save the battery and use gas. So I'll put it in hold mode. That will hold the battery. And there, now it's running on gas. Fairly seamless. It shows in the cluster. The gas, or the EV side, is dimmed out, so you can't really see it, and the gas side is active. And it told me I just turned the traction control back on, because I was doing dumb stuff and having lots of fun. So let's get on it, on gas mode. That's what it sounds like. It's about as loud as it gets. Again, I don't know if you can hear it, but that's it. I like it. So I'll to get out of traffic here, I'll stomp on it a little bit and see if we can get the gas motor to scream a little bit. Might be able to hear it, but it is pretty quiet which is good because it's weird. It's a really weird noise because it doesn't do what you think it should do. On a normal gasoline car is, driven by a transmission. Even if it has a CVT, it's not that weird. At least they pretend to have gears sometimes. CVTs weird me out too. But this thing, it's just a gas generator that's running power to the batteries and then back to the electric motors. So we'll turn up here, put her to the mat, and see what happens. Alright, to the mat. That's it. So it just went up, revved to whatever it revs at, and just stays there, and the car moves seamlessly along. It doesn't shift, it doesn't pretend to shift, it just drives off the electric motors, and the gas engine is just providing electrical power. That's all it does. And I'll turn it back onto electric. And boom, we're back on electric. That's it. Okay, so the battery on my camera died when I was finishing up that video, which isn't a big deal. I felt like it was kind of getting a little bit too long anyways. So any questions that anybody has about the car, I'd be happy to answer them. Anything you think I should cut out of the video that's boring and not relevant to anyone, I can work on that too. And yeah, I'm probably going to do a video a week since I'll be going back to work, because I think this is pretty fun. Certainly the least expensive automotive hobby I've ever had. So, including this one, I'm currently driving a Audi RS4 Avant. I'm crashing into stuff because I'm trying to make this video. But thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day.